Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Kevin. Huge thanks to Kevin and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Kevin reached out letting me know that his friends had given him a Mayael the Anima card, and he was looking for help building a deck around it. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Mayael the Anima is a 3-mana 2/3 legendary elf shaman. We may pay 6 and tap her. If we do, we look at the top 5 cards of our library. We may put a creature card with power 5 or greater from among them onto the battlefield, then put the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. Now, Kevin didn't have a ton of money to spend on this deck, so he asked that I keep it budget. He was also interested in possibly doing a typal deck. I let Kevin know that the 3 big creature types in these colors are angels, dragons, and dinosaurs. Kevin got a kick out of that, so this wound up being an AD&D deck. And so, I hopped on the hypogeometric calculator to determine how many cards we would need to get a hit from Mayael's activation. It turns out that if we have 25 creatures with power 5 or greater in our deck, we'll get a hit about 85% of the time, and 2 hits about 40% of the time. If only there was a card that could manipulate the top of our deck to ensure we hit 100% of the time. But in addition to big stompy creatures, we need other cards to have a functional commander deck. And for that, we turn to our handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. For the past few years, Ultimate Guard has been hard at work finding ways to protect your cards without damaging the planet, and they have discovered it. Boulders, once made entirely of plastic, are now made of 87% renewable resources. They also come in a variety of sizes, including this new Return to Earth 100 card boulder. If you're like me, you have a ton of decks and don't want those boxes filling up an entire suitcase, this box is the perfect solution. Find out if your local game store carries the new Return to Earth boulders from Ultimate Guard, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. One more thing before we get started. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV over on my other channel, Musings by Danon, every weekday in the afternoons. If you want to pop in and ask some questions, chat about Commander, or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Jungle Shrine, Highland Forest, Arctic Treeline, Alpine Meadow, Wooded Ridgeline, Radiant Grove, Sacred Peaks, Cinderglade, Canopy Vista, Karplusan Forest, Brushland, Battlefield Forge, Gruul Guildgate, Selesnya Guildgate, Boros Guildgate, Gruul Turf, Selesnya Sanctuary, Boros Garrison, Scavenger Grounds, Croson Verge, 5 Mountains, 5 Forests, and 5 Plains make up our lands for this deck. Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Wayfarer's Bauble, 3 Visits, Rampant Growth, Nature's Lore, Farseek, Sakura Tribe Elder, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Skyshroud Claim, Circuitous Route, Migration Path, and Regal Behemoth make up our mana ramp package. Dragon Mage, Skyline Despot, Scroll Rack, Big Score, Eternal Witness, Garruk's Uprising, Congregation at Dawn, Harmonize, Genesis Wave, and Colossal Majesty make up our card advantage package. Swords to Plowshares, Beast Within, Generous Gift, Boros Charm, Return to Nature, Decimate, Abrade, Disenchant, Destroy Evil, Bolt Bend, and Titania's commands serve to help keep our opponents in line. Blasphemous Act and Austere command let us reset the board as needed. Itali Primal Storm, Steel Hellkite, Galta Primal Hunger, Dracuseth Maw of Flames, Atarka Worldrender, Lathless Dragon Queen, Gisela Blade of Gold Knight, Sephara Sky's Blade, Hellkite Charger, Angel of the Ruins, Verdant Sun's Avatar, Scourge of the Throne, Angel of Serenity, Quartzwood Crasher, Lyra Dawnbringer, Titanoth Rex, Earthquake Dragon, the Tarask, Galta and Mavrin, and Kogla and Yadaro make up the core of our deck. But to support our plan, we've also got Lightning Greaves, and Swiftfoot Boots for protection, Monster Manual to help cheat creatures into play, and Battle Mage's Bracers, and Rings of Brighthearth to trigger Mayael's ability additional times. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 51 mana sources split between 37 lands and 14 pieces of ramp. A little heavy, but Mayael has a hefty activation cost and our creatures aren't exactly cheap. 10 pieces of card advantage, 11 pieces of interaction, 2 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, 1 Sudden I Win card in Scroll Rack. I'm sure you noticed it as I was listing off cards. Scroll Rack is the card that allows us to control the top of our deck, and I'm quite proud that I could fit it into a $100 budget list. Prior to its reprinting in Commander Legends, Scroll Rack was hovering around $100 by itself. Now you can pick up a copy for under $20, which isn't exactly cheap, but it is workable in a deck where most of your creatures run between 50 cents and $1. If budget wasn't a concern, I'd probably add in a couple of tutors to find Scroll Rack, as well as more ways to protect it or recast it from the graveyard as necessary. But even without Scroll Rack, we have plenty of creatures in the deck, and even a couple ways to hit with Mayael multiple times. Do you have a Mayael the Anima deck? What theme did you go with? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jariah, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Nick, Borgie, Jake, Exiled Rogue, Medmen, and Manassas. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.